Following is a News 7 special presentation.
We're coming to you tonight from what is affectionately known as America's Attic, the Smithsonian Institution and its Museum of African Art. Good evening, everyone. I'm Sam Ford. I've got a question for you. What culture does your family come from? Well, if you're Native American, you know the tribe. If you're European or Asian American, your last name at least gives you a clue. But if you're an African American, you probably have no idea except somewhere on the vast continent of Africa. It's sort of like being an adopted child and wondering who your real parents are. Well, tonight we're going to look at one group of Africans and one group of African Americans and circumstantial evidence that suggests, despite centuries and slavery, they may be the same people. And we'll conclude tonight with a look at the best piece of evidence yet, a song. We call this the African-American Connection. They've been saying it for years. If you've been to the Sea Islands off the coasts of South Carolina and Georgia, and if you've been to Sierra Leone on the western coast of Africa, there's something strikingly similar about the black people of both areas.
I saw many men who looked like my uncles, who looked like, my cousins, who looked like the man that lived around the street from us. I've been to many other African countries, and I've certainly enjoyed them quite well, but there was not that special link that there is here.
Sierra Leone's president, Joseph Momo, had heard so much about it that in October of 1988, he came with his cabinet to South Carolina to see for himself. They learned that their Afro-English dialect, called Creole, was so similar to the Americans' Afro-English dialect, called Gullah or Geechee, they could communicate.
When we look around and see una all, we not see any difference at all.
Some of their structure, sentence structure, is different from ours. In other words, we say, we're glad for Sihona. They would say, we're glady for Sihona.
It is true that I have met a lot of black Americans before, but there was something extra about the Emmy Campbells and others that we met in Charleston and other parts of South Carolina.
In that October '88 visit, Momo extended an invitation, and 1 year later, Emory Campbell led a group of Gullahs to Sierra Leone. It was one of the biggest national events in years. Crowds gathered wherever they went.
Acted like us, talked like us, ate the same food. What else could we ask? We knew we were home. It was a fantastic feeling. I saw elderly people actually crying. They were so happy to see us.
Though Myrtle Glasgow was born in Washington, D.C., her parents came from South Carolina.
When I was in Sierra Leone, I just knew that I was part of these people. There wasn't any question about it.
Loretta Sams of Darien, Georgia, felt the same way.
I tell everybody now I'm not just an American, I'm an African American, and I know that my ancestors came from Sierra Leone. I think it's a pride there. I often tell people that, Jewish people can say they are from here, or everybody can distinct where they're from, and I'm so proud to say I know that Sierra Leone blood is in me.
But there are other connections. At the market in Charleston, the way the women make baskets by sewing them together with palm leaves rather than weaving them is the same technique many of the women use at the market in Freetown, Sierra Leone.
Now the needle we put on the raffia, then we put on right around the grass, or they correct the grass, this now from grass.
And my sister went to Africa for a month and did a research on it, and it's amazing that it's the very same pattern, and the technique is the same. The material is almost basically the same.
But one of their strongest links is this, rice. Sierra Leone is the heart of Africa's so-called rice coast. Anthropologists say these Africans have cultivated and eaten rice for the last 5,000 years. Indeed, in the days of the slave trade, it was their expertise at growing rice that made them in such demand as slaves among the rice planters of coastal South Carolina and Georgia. In 18th century Charleston, slave traders like Henry Lawrence specifically advertised Negroes from Sierra Leone. To this day, for the people on both coasts, rice is a passion.
Yeah, I have to have it every day. If I didn't eat it for the day, I won't satisfy. If I didn't cook in my house also, I must try hard to get it for the day.
And sometimes we went without rice, and when we went without rice, gee, we were really poverty-stricken. As though, I mean, that's what we felt, because we didn't have rice. So rice was a real staple here every day.
And a trip to the Piggly Wiggly in Beaufort, South Carolina shows it still is.
Do people really buy rice in 20-pound and 50-pound bags?
Oh, certainly. Matter of fact, we had problems keeping it in stock. You just haven't catch us on a good day.